Hello and welcome to a game of Dota 2. We have got ourselves a second best of 3 match of today. It is of course the StarLadder LAN Finals that you are watching. Quantic Alliance. It is their first match even though it's already very late where they are as well, as they are indeed live in Kiev. We are still going to start this best of 3 off. We are starting with game 1, obviously. This is going to be game 1. We'll have Kanaz as my co-caster. We'll have Statsman Vykromond. You can't talk yet, Kanaz. Sorry, I will give you some volume in a second. And we will have the game. So let's jump ourselves into the draft. There we go. And now you are volumized. That's not a word, I know. Welcome back, Kanaz.
No, volumized. It's like the shampoo that makes your hair poofy. Volumized.
Okay, never mind that. I gave you volume.
It is a word, it's just not the right word. Hey, good to be here. Ready for this game. I'm hoping it'll be exciting.
Yes, Quantic Alliance, it is one of the blockbusters. Of course, it's a bit of a remake from the DreamHack Finals there, so the chance for these teams at LAN to try and prove that they are indeed the better ones of the two. We are seeing the Tree and Protector. We talked about it in the pre-show. Alliance still bans out the Tree and Protector. They ban out the Lifestealer as well, but they don't ban out the OD. And by the way, first pick goes to Alliance.
Yeah, at least in the first game, so it means second game that Quantic will likely have first pick, and then we'll see what happens with the third one if they're going to do a coin flip. But yeah, interesting to note, Alliance ban out Tree right away, so that's fun. Definitely still valuing the Tree rather highly and don't want to deal with Quantic's Tree. And like we were talking about during the pregame show, very successful hero for Quantic. Not surprised to see it banned out here. And Quantic also going to choose to ban out Nature's Prophet, one of Emerald Bulldog's most successful heroes.
Yeah, leaving Lone Druid in the pool, and now Alliance is up against a choice like, do they want to pick up the Bat Rider or secure the Lone Druid? We know that Funzy plays actually an excellent Lone Druid. So if they, like, they have a stand-in, right? And we know that Black is going to be supposedly the carry. But we know that they might switch it around a little bit. So I did say Funzy Lone Druid, but well, I almost forgot about the Wisp. What the hell? Io is still in the pool. Okay, so they pick up Io, leave the Bat Rider and the Lone Druid and the OD, and there's the Bat Rider and the Lone Druid, and all of a sudden Alliance. I actually think, I don't know if they should have let this go through. Like, otherwise they would have at least had or a Bat Rider or a Lone Druid, and right now they only have the Io. Of course, that's still a very strong hero to have. Is it enough, though?
Well, obviously, Wisp, Io, very powerful hero that can definitely create just the way the game is played. You can shape a game to your advantage when you have a Wisp on your team, just because of the relocatability, what it can do for your team moving around, creating that pressure everywhere on the map, and always keeping the other team on their toes. But giving away Bat Rider, Lone Druid, I don't know. Bat Rider is a very powerful hero as well that we see picked or banned always in both the Eastern and Western scene. And Lone Druid, also a very, very strong hero. I don't know who's going to be playing it, if it's going to be Black, or if they're going to give it Silent. Maybe Silent takes it off lane for Quantic right now. We don't really see that much Black Lone Druid. It has happened.
Yeah, he does.
I'm not saying we never see it.
And I think Silent plays a pretty okay Bat Rider as well, so it will probably be Black Lone Druid, Bat Rider, Silent. Or at least, you know, that's what I'm expecting right now. There's still plenty of possibilities to try and do it differently. I actually, like, they pick up an Enchantress, Alliance does, and we know that Chen is a signature hero of Aki. Chen was still in the pool, but they choose to go for the Enchantress rather than going for the Chen. And that means that they want to go for very early aggression, because that's basically the thing, of course, with the Enchantress. You can have multiple creeps at level 1 if you want to, and you can apply a lot of pressure with that. So interesting to note that they ban out the Naga Siren, and now also the Chaos Knight gets banned out. Of course, combinations with the Io. There's plenty of combinations with the Io though, and you can't ban them all out. We know that they have had combinations with the Io that has a PA or a Ricky, or we still have the Tiny in the pool, which we recently saw as well. I mean, there's plenty of options for them to pick still.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, definitely. And Alliance, I don't even think they ever really run. They don't run the Chaos Knight often, if at all. Like, it's happened a few times, but they tend to prefer other heroes like Stealth Assassin, Phantom Assassin, that I think Lord just prefers playing to the Chaos Knight, and they sort of utilize the Tether in a similar way. But Enchantress, like you're saying, Chen is Aki's like signature hero, but realistically, he plays a lot of Enchantress as well and plays it very well. He became a little bit more, I guess, famous for his Chen play than his Enchantress, but both are very powerful heroes, and it just really has to do with what your team is trying to do, what you want in a given situation. With the Enchantress pick, things just looking a little bit more aggressive. Obviously, Enchant is a little bit better early on. You can get more creeps faster for those early tower pushes. And definitely looking like Alliance might be going a pretty aggressive lineup here with Wisp and Enchantress as their first 2 picks.
Yeah, and they ban out the Undying indeed, so if they would... Like, if Quantic would pick that up, and it's actually one of the 3 highest played supports also from Goblak. So if they would pick the Undying up, you can just place the Tombstone, and people can't push in anymore. The same thing goes for Keeper of Light, though. You just Illuminate, and it will be good. Yeah, that is Goblak having a 100% win rate with Keeper of the Light. Since the patch, since 6.78b.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and Keeper Light's certainly a powerful hero, but I think what's really interesting about this draft is Quantic look to be taking a very defensive lineup with Keeper Light, Barrier Ranger. These are all more just defensive heroes in a general sense. Batrider, Keeper Light, typically played in more defensive teams, obviously Lone Druid as well. You can play him somewhat aggressively, but usually you just want to sit back and farm with him. Whereas Alliance are the ones picking the very, very aggressive lineup thus far. I don't think that's what we would have maybe expected going into the game. You expect Quantic to be the team that wants to pick up something that's going to hit you hard and hit you fast. But yeah, Alliance now picking up Gyrocopter for the 3rd pick.
Yeah, secure themselves a carry. It's one of the only cores that they have so far. Well, they already have to... well, they already know 2 kind of cores of Quantic, of course, the Lone Druid and the Batrider. Gyrocopter and IO make a pretty okay combination, not because it can be... Like, they can't gank the way that a CK IO can gank as well, but... Like, this is kind of contradicting
10 seconds.
what Alliance looked to be doing after the Enchantress pick, because Gyrocopter Wisp, you have the combination of the same thing as you get with if you play a Spectre, if you play a Morphling. You can farm your carry and be in fights whenever there is one without really having to leave your carry play. So I kind of find it contradicting what they want to be doing, but maybe they tried to bait something out of Quantic. Maybe they wanted Quantic to pick up the Keeper of the Light for some reason. If they want to still, well, they don't have space for another support. I'm actually thinking Quantic is looking kind of strong here, and you already said defensive. I agree with that. But later on with the Lone Druid, they can just take it back. The question is, what's the mid matchup gonna be? Because I don't see any aggressive trailing coming off from either side with these drafts, and that means a lot of pressure is gonna be on the mid. And we still have all options open. OD is still in, Puck, Queen of Pain, Magnus, obviously, Dragon Knight, you name it, they're all still in.
Yeah, that's kind of just been the standard for drafts in the most recent patches, that the mid heroes are just whatever. We leave them to like 4th, 5th pick, and whoever's left in the pool is left in the pool. But a somewhat unusual pick coming out here from Quantic.
Yep, the Pugna. So it kind of, I don't really know what they are aiming for with this one. Because there's no real, like, there's no Blink Dagger hero up on Alliance that really wants to try and, you know, Blink do something so you can cancel that out with the ward, or well, actually, you can't push very hard. The thing that they used Pugna as last time, Pugna together with the OD. We saw that at some point. Pugna OD is terrible because, oh, well, if you are against them anyways. Because if you are the Pugna, you have got that aura from the OD, and you can just replenish your mana over and over and over again by just spamming everything you have and blasting everything away. So if Quantic wins a fight, towers on the lane that won the fight are gonna drop like flies. And I think that Quantic, with this, it's still also a very defensive hero if they want to, but they can also be going very aggressive with this. If Batrider gets a fast blink, it gets a successful kill behind a tower or near a tower, that tower is going to go down if there is no TPs incoming. And if there's TPs incoming, they are going to give more free farm to the lanes where, of course, the TPs came from. It's pretty tricky for Alliance to deal with, but they're going to try and deal with it by getting a ganking lineup as well. So Bounty Hunter is their pickup.
Yeah, I think Pugna may be a little bit different here because they don't necessarily need the OD with this lineup because they have the Keeper of the Light to restore his mana. So you can kind of utilize that to keep spamming the Nether Blast off to take towers. And with the Lone Druid, that's a lot of tower pushing ability. Also, Nether Blast and Illuminate are both great for clearing off creep waves if they end up in a sort of turtley game where they're defending towers constantly. They can just keep dropping those nukes on the towers to kill off those creep waves pushing from Alliance. And Bounty Hunter, I don't think it's a particularly surprising pick. I mentioned it earlier that if you ban out a lot of the Admiral Bulldog heroes like the Lone Druid, like the Nature's Prophet, and I guess they picked up the Lone Druid here, they often come back to Bounty Hunter for Admiral Bulldog, and he plays it very well in the off lane. and just really sets a very aggressive pace for his team. So we'll see if those ganks end up working out and how much gold they get out of it with the track money.
Yeah, they do have like a pretty obvious ganking lineup. And in terms of Quantic, they have a bet rider that doesn't really die that easy. Lone Druid neither. Pugna can actually make him or decrepify himself. It could save him for a little while. It might actually work against him, obviously. But I mean, it has, like, for both teams though, like Pugna has to get a decent mid lane. If he doesn't, he's gonna be screwed. If Bounty Hunter can't get those track kills off, he is useless. So kills need to happen this game. I think that people that are watching are gonna be very happy about that one. We do have a puck ban out. Queen of Pain is gonna be an obvious selection here still for Alliance to pick up. I don't really think they're gonna try to go for Magnus. And actually, Queen of Pain might not even be the case. Like, well, actually, yeah, it's gonna probably be something like that. Wow, look at these timings though. Both teams, or at least Alliance so far, only has 1 second left in reserve time, and Quantic doesn't have any seconds left in reserve time.
Yeah, they're definitely spending as much time as possible thinking about these picks and these bans, trying to get whatever advantage they can in this draft, and you really can't blame them. This is a big game, and getting the advantage in the first game is such a huge deal. Then you have 2 chances to just take 1 game. You know that you're ahead, you have that momentum going into game 2 to just try and close it out. And especially if Quantic can take it on the game where Alliance had first pick, in a game where first pick is so big, and ooh, buddy, K-pop is... That guy's a genius.
Well,
we need to let him know that he's a genius.
It was kind of obvious that it was gonna get picked up here, but this all of a sudden makes Quantic's lineup very greedy, I think. Because they're gonna have Bat Rider in the jungle, Lone Druid, who could actually be mid. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Well, Pugna mid is probably more logical, but Lone Druid then on the safe lane, Pugna mid. But all of those heroes, like, okay, like, they can't do anything mid-game apart from the Bat Rider, so there's a lot of pressure on him getting enough farm in the jungle, and I'm expecting Admiral Bulldog on his Bounty Hunter to try and make his life a living hell. Dragon Knight picked up for Alliance. A very sturdy hero as well, should be okay up against the Pugna. Can't really get any kills, but then again, you're a Dragon Knight, so you probably aren't going to be specifically winning your lane. You're at least going to play it even and not die. And also going to have a lot of pushing power at level 6.
I think Dragon Knight might have been one of the absolute best picks for Alliance here. They need a mid-hero, and they need someone who can just initiate by running into the fight. And they really don't have anything like that right now. Like, Gyrocopter, if he's paired up with Wisp, is obviously very fast. He can try and get in the fight quickly, but he's not really a naturally tanky hero. Having a Dragon Knight on your team with the high armor, the high HP pull, just by virtue of being a strength hero, he can run in the middle of a fight and try and draw attention while the rest of Alliance closes in and tries to start picking off kills with the Bounty Hunter, with the Gyrocopter, and I guess even Enchantress does a lot of damage in these fights.
Yes, I think so too. If Aki gets his way, he'll be turning into a semi-carry very soon. But we'll see how successful they are with trying to get that aggression going, if they are actually gonna be trying to do that. Because one of the things that we have seen Alliance do as well when they pick up a Wisp, it's like you have that constant threat of getting initiated on, but then they actually don't. But it does make the opponents play a lot safer and just not go out of their way all too much. So it could work out that way for Alliance too, if they choose to play it less aggressive. I'm not gonna say safe, because I don't think that they're not that kind of team. They're still gonna look for kills. But if they play it less aggressive than what Quantic is expecting, that might still work in their favor as well, without actually doing anything for it, of course. But that's again the power of the Wisp. Then again, they're not having an aggressive trial lane, so Black will be getting free farm.
Yeah, I don't think they'll just ignore Black's anti-mage like maybe some other teams did that we were casting a while ago, and we kept getting confused as to why they were completely ignoring Black just free farming on an anti-mage, or other heroes as well. I think Alliance are aware that if they just sit and leave Black up in the top lane for 20 minutes doing nothing but farming, it's not going to be good for them. So I would expect to see some good rotations, especially when they have heroes like Bounty Hunter, Wisp. All these heroes are pretty good at moving around, and if they can just set up these kills on anti-mage sort of around the 10 odd minute marks, they can start really slowing him down. Yeah. And their carries don't really need as much farm to come online. Gyrocopter, obviously, the sort of hero that if he gets a lot of farm, he's great. If he doesn't get a lot of farm, he can still do a lot of damage with his spells.
Yeah, let's see who's playing what actually, because of course we have got a bit of a role switch. First of all, there's Soxka, who's actually in Kiev, but who's not playing because of his hand injury. But Funzy, I already said, like, the moment he got picked up, Funzy Lone Druid, he is actually going to play that for today, so he's not going to be in the mid, he's going to be playing the off-lane Lone Druid. That makes Silent be a mid-hero on the Bat Rider. He's going to be able to do that just fine, I think. A Bat Rider up against the... well... Bat Rider up against the Dragon Knight should be okay. That means that Pugna is gonna be played as a support. He's gonna be played by Goblak. I don't like this, to be fair. I guess once he gets level 7, he can still spam his blast as much as he wants to. Pugna has 80 wins with OD, but 40 wins with 40%. Yeah, 100% for Quantic. Okay. Duly noted, 100% Pugna win, 100% Keeper of the Light win. This is scary stuff for Alliance, purely based on stats. Black is going to be playing his anti-mage, obviously, and we are going to be seeing fucking Mad playing the Keeper of the Light on the top lane, all supporting on Black. And yeah, Pugna support, I'll just have to deal with it, I guess.
Not going to be getting any farm in this game. For Alliance, we're going to have Loda. He's on the gyrocopter up in that off lane at the moment, so it looks like they are aggressively tri-laning. They're going to have EGM there as well on the Wisp, already running at...
Yeah, let's see if there's going to be a Rocket Barrage. Yeah. They're going to share the damage, though, and that's going to make sure that nobody dies. And Loda has to actually be kind of careful. Tree gets eaten, the rest of Quantic will back out. Aki, though... oh, sorry, you were introducing people still.
Yeah, Aki is going to be playing the Enchantress, so he's going to be heading around the Dire Jungle, aggressively juggling this game. Mid lane, that's going to be S4 on the Dragon Knight, and finally their bottom, safe lane, is going to be solo Admiral Bulldog.
Up against his own signature hero. One of the upsides you have then, of course, is knowing exactly what he can and can't do. So you can profit from the little things that you know, like, okay, he's not doing this, so I can actually do this. So it should be an okay lane for him, or at least to survive. I have to say, the first creep that Aki was able to pick up is a pretty good one. He gets himself a troll. So there's going to be disables. I'm not sure if they can actually kill someone with it, but it's still a pretty good one. I don't think that Quantic were expecting this. Hell, we weren't expecting this either. An aggressive jungling Enchantress with a dual laning Loda and EGM. I mean, it can work. Illuminate and Blast will still be a lot of damage. If Loda or entirety of Alliance kind of gets out of position, they're going to be having a very tough time here because those blasts hurt. And I mean both blasts.
Yeah, definitely Illuminate from Keeper Light hurts really bad, and another blast as it starts getting some levels can be pretty terrible to lane against as well, just because of the low cooldown. And with that Chakra Magic coming out from Keeper Light, he can keep spamming that out, trying to deal as much damage as possible. I don't know, we've seen this before from Alliance where they'll aggressively jungle Enchantress or Chen in the hands of Aki, and they'll run sort of a tri-lane.
S4 might be in a lot of trouble. Yeah, he's got 5 stacks of Sticky Napalm. Doesn't look like Silence is gonna go for it, but he does get him very low. At the same time, Dragon Knight does have boots, though. He didn't go for a bottle, I believe. That's interesting to note. Boots before bottle.
Well, he kind of needs the boot. If he didn't have boots there, he dies.
Yeah, I guess.
Or did he just get them sent to him? It helps really large amount against this Bat Rider, because you need to run away when you get a lot of stacks on you if you're going to be sitting forward trying to farm. And if he starts getting the Firefly on you and you don't have any move speed whatsoever, you're just going to sit in the fire and burn to death.
Yeah, it looks like Aki wants to try and make something happen here in the middle lane. We are going to be seeing if S4 gets himself a stun, or if Aki gets a stun. No, they don't get anything, and that's a gank failed there for Aki. Maybe they... Oh, Silent might be a little bit... well, scared here. No, he's okay. He's fine. So where are you expecting first blood to happen?
You gotta bet on probably top lane right here, just because of the volume of heroes. It looks like Alliance are playing pretty safe, which is somewhat surprisingly considering they decided to run this aggressive tri-lane. Admiral Bulldog should be fine unless something really silly happens, and like Funzy hits level 5 and gets a amazing entangle that just gets Bulldog killed. And I don't know, Dragon Knight not really at risk of dying to Silent on this Bat Rider, at least not for now. But once he hits level 6, that could change.
Yeah, and Aki again waiting on the high ground, this time with the Wolf, actually is backing off. I'm not sure if he can do that without an extra disable though, like he has to have the Dragon Stun, Dragon Tail. There are 8 stick charges up on S4, so possibly it could be happening, but Now he is playing it very safe, Aki that is, or at least hanging around. He does have a smoke in his inventory if he wants to make something happen. We do already have, by the way, a counter ward being placed by Quantic. Kind of funny because it doesn't scout out the ward that Alliance actually has, and both their own observer wards are still standing. Also, both of the wards of Alliance still standing though. We don't actually have sentry wards here on this top lane for Alliance. And they are actually also not blocking the camp. And that kind of means that Quantic can get some extra experience on supports. They're actually going to go for the Keeper of the Light here. The tether was there to the Wolf, but they don't get it.
Yeah, you gotta get that Alpha Wolf close so you can hit them with his 40 damage, I guess.
It actually
I know, kind of weird.
Though.
Yeah, he hits hard, but it didn't even really get close enough anyways, and they're just going to walk away from something like the Alpha Wolf. Regardless, Black's still getting the best of farm in the top lane. That's what's important here. Silent also getting the best in the middle lane, and actually Bounty Hunter is going pretty much even with Lone Druid, so things are looking pretty good for Quantic in this laning phase thus far. Aki is doing better than opposing supports just by virtue of being a jungler. And that could come back to bite them if Aki's able to get a few levels up and set up some ganks somewhere, but thus far hasn't really had the success he needs.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried, like you already said, like they are now even, Bulldog as well as Funzy, but now the Bulldog, the Funzy is level 5, and Tangles are bound to happen. But having said that, Bulldog is actually level 6, so I wouldn't be surprised if he starts rotating. They're actually gonna try to find a kill here. Silent coming in with an Invis rune. EGM already scouted him out though, and Aki is gonna be the target. There is the lasso. Aki in a world of trouble, gets illuminated and blasted, tries to run. Nature's attendants are not gonna be there to help him up, and the first blood goes to the anti-mage. Anti-mage though, he might die himself. One more hit needed. The spears, they don't reach him. Black gets himself away, 17 HP.
The flak cannon.
The flak cannon still hit him. It is going to be Silent that might actually die. If they get him as well, that wouldn't even be too bad of a trade, but they don't end up getting him. They do get everybody very low, with also Goblak dropping very low, but nobody actually dies apart from the anti-mage. Makes it a 1-for-1 trade, I think. Like, on itself, trading your own life for first blood is okay, but he does miss a lot of time that he could be farming right now.
Dire's top tower.
Yeah, it's hard to say whether that's worth it. Like, First Blood, obviously very, very valuable, but his team would have gotten it regardless, and he didn't really need to die there. But I think he really was confident that he was going to be able to get away. It was a good play by Loda. Popped the flat cannon and immediately started attacking a creep next to him just to make sure that he gets that flat cannon hit flying at Black before he's able to get out of range. So, smart heads-up play by Loda to get the kill there, and also just really aggressive play by Black to try and go for the First Blood. He got it though, so it's probably like at least even on it. And he's not always getting amazing farm up in this top lane anyways. Goes for power treads first, just showing that off because he is being aggressively trialing against. Yeah,
that is that's a bit of a luxury item as well at this point. Like you know that you're gonna get your Battle Fury, but you just want to have some extra survivability. But fast Battle Fury, or at least Battle Fury after treads, is still pretty good situation for him to be in. And yeah, as you said, it's looking okay for him. In terms of last hits, he is like everybody on the cores of the heroes are actually fairly even. Everybody's between a 27 and 35, which is a very even number to be in. As we have got a baby Funzy in a little bit of trouble. He comes in, the track is already there, the slow is there as well. Here comes the stomp from the Ursa warrior, and that will be Funzy on the floor real soon. One more hit needed, and it is Aki that gets it. Illuminate only gets some creeps. Aki is able to dodge that. Nature's attendants are gonna heal him up. Here comes Silent looking for the lasso. Is he gonna get Aki again? Yes, he is. But this time the Nature's attendants are already flying, and it might be enough. There goes a track. Extra movement speed for Aki. It doesn't look to be enough though. He'll end up going down. Good trade nonetheless. Bulldog will be able to make himself out of there, and that is, I still think, a good trade. But it's a shame for Aki that he have to die twice in a row right now.
Yeah, it's an even trade, and of course Bounty Hunter's involved, so it's not an even trade. It favors whichever team has a Bounty Hunter with those track kills.
Yeah.
So they get the kill on the Lone Druid, they lose a support Enchantress for it, and the Lone Druid kill was a track kill. That's a great trade for Alliance to take it any day, and things looking pretty good for them if they can keep getting kills like that and shutting down this Lone Druid, because any mage, again, not getting the best of farm up in that top lane.
Yeah, and the tier 1 tower actually goes down. I will favor Black a little bit because the lane will be a bit more empty after that. Loda, I doubt he's gonna hang around, though he is hanging around right now for a little bit. This might be bad though, like he is the only one on the top lane. Quantic could decide to go kill him off right now if they want to. I'm not sure why Black is thinking he is gonna mana void creeps, but oh well, he was. In the
He
meantime,
wants them to know
Yeah.
that the magic ends here.
yeah, in the meantime, S4 is doing okay in the mid lane. Like, we saw the last hits, it was mostly in favor of Quantic, but with the tower dying, it's gonna go the way of Alliance for all three cores of all three lanes. It is Alliance that takes the cake here. Dragonite with the bottle, with the treads, 47 to 8. 900 gold in his inventory, looking pretty solid. Betrider though, of course, he's already been involved in both of the kills that Quantic has, both of the kills on Aki. But he was forced to leave the lane for that, and that gave S4 a chance to get back here on last hits, or rather get ahead, I should say. S4 is probably not planning on leaving the lane for a little while. Tower has been brought down to half HP while Silent was away from the lane as well, so the next time Silent leaves, that might actually be extra gold going the way of Alliance in the form of a tower.
Yeah, if Silent leaves this lane again and Dragonite's ult is up, it's going to be very, very easy for him to take. And his ult is up, so he's going to pop this regen rune now. And Silent, he's kind of forced to move around because his team is having a little bit of trouble elsewhere on the map, and so someone just got a prize for witnessing First Blood. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I was saying that too. But maybe that's because, or like there was a bit of a bug. Maybe it's now 2 minutes since the first blood. Nah, it was more than 2 minutes.
I think it was more than 2 minutes, I don't know.
Weird. Well, grats
Yeah, it's kind of
whoever you
strange.
are. Well, there's...
Kel'Thuzad, he's a lich.
Yes, sorry. How dare I mistaken that. Bulldog is gonna try to go here for fucking mad, and fucking mad is fucking dead. Oh, I said it. Oh my god, I said it.
Dire's bottom tower.
Was a track kill,
is, in
of course,
fact.
as well. A track kill going the way of Alliance, nicely scouted out by Bulldog. I mean, he is level 8. And they are just pushing down on this tier 1 tower. And Betrider goes down in the mid lane. That's a solo kill going the way of S4. Double damage when helping out there. And I think with this, he might be able to get the tower. And that would be 2 quick towers going the way of Alliance. Goblak comes in with the Pugna, gets himself a trek as a reward.
Dire's middle
With the
tower
Illuminate,
is
they are able to keep Alliance back, I think. Unless they overextend. I don't think Alliance is gonna go for this. Or are they? They are. They might. Dragonite is, by the way, left alone. He gets himself a tower.
Dire's middle tower.
Yep, and he's going to hit the second tower with his double damager as well, laying some damage on it. Doing a lot of damage to that tier 2 in the mid lane. And they take a lot of towers on a lot of map control, Alliance right here, and that's very, very good for them. Because Quantic, their team needs a lot more time to farm because they ended up picking up that Anti-Mage.
Under attack.
And
I think
I don't know if they're going to be able to get it.
Ooh. Lone Druid chasing down S4 should be okay though. S4 that is. Because, yeah, Funtic took refuge in the jungle after not being able to get anything anymore on the bottom lane when everybody started coming there. But yeah, they just, like, they lost all tier 1 towers. Quantic, that is. Quantic lost all tier 1 towers in, like, in 5 minutes. And look at that gold graph. It just goes up and up and up, and it's going towards the 7,000 gold. On the other side, of course, we do have the experience graph still going the way of Alliance, but not as fast purely because they have been roaming together, and they are leaving Black to free farm on top. We have to point that out. He is the AFK anti-mage, but when he is not AFK, he's gonna be a scary one. Alliance, if they are gonna be happy with him being by himself, wait a second, relocate, that's gonna be fucking mad dead once again. Another track kill going the way of Alliance. Nice Pugna ward going down there as EGM goes down, no relocate back for him. The rest of Quantic still alive, they get a good trade out of that, or at least they get a return kill out of that. Everybody of Alliance backs off though. But the question for Alliance is, if they're gonna be keeping on this kind of play, as in leaving Black to free farm and be happy with just distracting the rest of Quantic, they have got to have, they have a time limit. Like, they have it to end it before 30 minutes, I think. Or at least have such a substantial advantage at 30 minutes that Black can't be getting back in the game again by himself.
Yeah, I guess there are kind of 2 ways of dealing with an anti-mage when he's on the other team. You can gank him and so that he's not really able to get the start he needs, and then he just doesn't really do anything until 35 plus minutes in, and by then your team is probably already winning if you were able to gank him so successfully for so long. Or you can destroy his team and gain so much farm, so much advantage everywhere else on the map that by the time he's really relevant, he's not all that relevant because your heroes, even your supports, are getting a lot more farm. And Track is really an ability that helps with that. It gives the supports a ton of extra gold anytime they're involved in these kills. And usually they wouldn't have it. It can just create a very, very farmed team, and fucking mad.
Yeah.
He looks...
He's like, this is the life
They are
of a support
prowling.
with Bounty Hunter on the map. You don't know where you can and cannot go. Like, he is
There's so many
sitting
things
next to his
standing on that
tower.
cliff.
And Bulldog does go to the low ground, now notices that there's no Sent word, there goes a track, here comes the Centaur with the stun, and that's gonna be a kill. Going away with Aki actually, without him actually being there. The ward still did quite some damage. I like the places of wards by Godlike, but so far, I mean, these kills, they just favor Alliance so much. And yeah, I mean, I agree. If you're gonna be having a 4-man kind of group up, as they had earlier on the bottom lane, normally you don't get the experience and gold on your people that you want to have, but with the Bounty Hunter you actually do. Might not be getting the same amount of experience, but you do get nice extra amounts of gold, as there is a smoke up for Alliance. They have S4 with his Shadow Blade ready. Aki following him as well, gets himself a new creep. And they're gonna try to save up Bulldog, who has a haste rune and is able to haste himself away. They know that the Firefly is on cooldown and they're gonna come in. Blink away from Black already. Here comes S4, looking for... There's one dead Keeper of the Light. Net goes up on Black, he can't get away for a little while longer. S4 might actually have to run very soon, but here comes EGM. He has got a tether up, and the relocate can bring him back into safety if need be. Fonzie is gonna already be down though, and that is Quantic on the run. More track kills going the way of Alliance. Double kill for S4. Wisp will be going back by himself because he knows that Alliance can take this. That's silent. That's another track kill. Can they take down Godlike as well is the question. Yes, they can, and that is 10 for 3 on the score. That is a tier 2 tower down. That is a gold graph spiking upwards, experience graph spiking upwards, and Alliance, they are not looking to make this into a very long game.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Yeah, it definitely. Once you start giving up those kills to a team of Bounty Hunter, and I think like almost every kill in this game has been a track kill, except maybe that one on anti-mage in the top lane, maybe one or two others. That's a lot of track gold to be giving to Alliance. And again, anti-mage, he still doesn't really have anything. He's trying to get his Battle Fury. He's pretty close to it, 1,200 gold off, but 1,200 gold is still kind of far from him, and by the time he gets it, 17 minutes, 18 minutes, is this team even going to be in the game anymore? And I kind of wonder if Anti-Mage was the right pickup here for Quantic, if they're just trying too hard to cater to what Black likes to play with something like an Anti-Mage, and maybe they should have given something a little bit more aggressive here.
Yeah, we do know that they had a greedy lineup, of course. I mean, the anti-mage so far already shown for that. He can't be participating in kills or in fights. Yet same thing goes for Funzy, who actually went for a Vlad, just showing that he is that far behind that he picks up those team fighty items that don't really buff his barrel that much in terms of damage. And where are they going to get the damage from them? Batrider's not going to do it. He is going to be able to pick up Loda here by the looks of it, unless EGM can keep him safe, but he cannot be doing that. That's a nice pickup for for Quantic. Wow, my bad there. At the same time, we might have a fight in the top lane. Ooh, that's gonna be recall on the Batrider. Blinking, lasso. Can they take him down? Silent, trouble, silent, dead. Here comes the relocate. EGM in this fight once again as well. Keeper of Light is already dead. Black is gonna be in a lot of trouble. Black is gonna be going down as well. Quantic is gonna get wiped if they're not careful. The Bear Master is already back to the fountain, or at least to the tier 1 tower, to a tier 2 tower bottom. He's the only one that didn't die there. Everybody just... I thought it was an awkward fight. This was a fight for Alliance. 5 versus 4. And Alliance won it with the 4. They didn't have the gyrocopter there, but it didn't matter. S4. Too big?
Yeah, S4 is pretty big at this point. And yeah, Vlad's picked up early on Lone Druid. Not a very common pickup, only about 12% of the time. But I believe when Funzy used to play Lone Druid quite a bit for the old MTW pre-TI2, he picked up Vlad's pretty early rather often. So that used to be how he played. I don't know if it's just because that's how he's used to playing, or it's because what they want to be doing with Quantic here. They wanted the lifesteal early to help both the bear as well as the anti-mage. But definitely not a particularly common item, and it is a lot more supportive than maybe some of the other choices he could have gone for.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of the question if Quantic can turtle long enough. We already discussed during the draft that they do have a very defensive lineup if they want to have. You have, of course, got the Illuminates, the Blast from the Pugna. You've got yourself a bear if need be, if you want to stop him from farming. You got Firefly that you can put down beforehand. Flame Break helps a lot as well. The question is, what are they farming for? Obviously it's for anti-mage and of course for the Lone Druid as well. But you've got a Gyrocopter and a Dragon Knight on the other side, and a Bounty Hunter that can turn into a semi-carry, and an Enchantress that can turn into a semi-carry. Like, late game, is Quantic actually gonna win this if it's very late game? Like,
well,
disregarding what's happening now, for example.
If everybody in the game had, like, completely even farm, like 6-side, whatever, at the end of the game, there's pretty much no way I think Quantic could really come ahead of this. Unless we're saying that Lone Druid's 12-side, in which case that's really scary. But, yeah, Dragon Knight, Gyrocopter against Anti-Mage and Lone Druid really are kind of the carries versus carries here. And I think I would favor alliances a little bit more. Dragon Knight, not really that great towards late game, but when it gets really late, Anti-Mage isn't that great either as a carry. His real strength is that he's able to flash farm and really just get online a lot faster than many other carries. Sort of in the same vein as an Alchemist, but he's also an agility hero, which usually just makes him a little bit stronger at carrying. Something like a Gyrocopter, because he has that AoE in the form of the flat cannon, is a lot more devastating for the enemy team than really an anti-mage typically is.
Yeah, and in terms of split pushing, they don't really have that much either. I mean, they have to just put people at risk. They don't have a Nature's Prophet on the map or anything like that. Anti-Mage can, of course, split push very effectively if he has the farm. Looks like we're going to see Quantic having a bit of trouble here again. Relocate comes in as well. Funzy and fucking Mad are the target. One already dead. Funzy trying to TP himself out. Will be able to do that, but... Oh, Godlike, though, not able to do that at all. Bedrider was in the midst of that as well and just went down. And that is, again, 3 kills... on the side for Alliance. I mean, it's 17-4, and I mean, yeah, there we have it. That's the first game. That is GG. I did say, first pick gets the win. Now, if that's the case, then Quantic will take game 2, and we're gonna see if that's gonna happen. Of course, you are watching StarLadder LAN Finals. These teams are live from Kiev, and we are going to see a best of 3 to decide who goes to the winner's bracket and who goes to the loser bracket. And we're going to be having a panel coming up for you, featuring myself as well as Kanaz, as well as K-Poptosis. And yeah, I guess like we had a 100% winning streak for Cuddle and Pugna for Quantic, and it just got broken. But yeah, let's drop out of this game. And let's see how long it takes for the next game to start and have a bit of a discussion about the game, how it went, and maybe what Quantic could have done to prevent this kind of stomp from happening. Stick around for more Dota 2 action coming your way. The move.